Hello everyone, here I'm back from the video lecture and today we are going to discuss the forearm pronation and supination. Before starting this procedural hand placement process, we can see just look at the picture first. Okay, the image basically shows this is the position of the patient majorly and therapist holding up and down both on the forearm. Okay, majorly what you have to understand is hand placement and procedure is simple as shown in the picture. Okay, patient is lying as in a spine position. Hand is basically in this position as we have seen that in this, okay? The 90 degree, basically you can just say 90-degree elbow flexion, and with that you can just hold, okay, this is the position for the pronation, okay? This is the position when the pronation is going to end, okay? This is not the start of the pronation or starting position of the pronation, okay? You can just hold this hand in a mid position or neutral position or towards the body of the patient, okay? In the mid position, the palm of the side is basically holding in this way that patient's, or you can just say that in the direction of the patient body. After that, when the therapist holds, or you can just say that the good doctor is holding both on your elbow joint, one in this way they can give just a good amount of support to the joint, okay, elbow joint. Now the other hand is basically used for the force. Okay, when we can grasp the wrist of the patient, we are going to start the movement, okay, for the pronation. When we need to pronate the arm, we can just pronate it like that, okay, in this position. And when we want to supinate, so what we can do, we can just move the same wrist in the upward direction, okay? So the complete forearm is in a pronation. As you know, the pronation is like that, the when your hand or your palm side is straight towards your face, okay, near to your face, same like that, or is facing to the close to the face, just same like that they have told in the hand placement and procedure theory. Basically, they told you the grasp the patient wrist, supporting the hand with the index finger, placing the thumb with the rest of the fingers on either side of the distal forearm. Okay, same as we have discussed, the therapist hand is holding the wrist of the patient. And the other thing is stabilizing the elbow with the other hand. Okay, stabilizing the elbow with the other hand means that, as we have discussed, the other hand of the therapist is giving support to the elbow joint. The motion is basically rolling of the radius around the ulna, and as you know that when we can perform pronation supination, the major movement occur in this area is basically the movement of radius, okay, around the ulna at the distal radius. So majorly this is the procedure. Other method is also as same like that, alternate hand placement. You can just switch the patient distal forearm between the palms of the both hand and just make it like that. As you can, as you know that we can modify according to the patient's requirement the movement, the placement of the hand, but the major goal we have to achieve there is the pronation and supination of the forearm. So because sometimes the patient is not able to hold a single point of position, okay, you can just say that because these are the passive range of motion, so you know that in the passive range of motion patient is unable to do any of the movement, okay. So you have to start from the basic. So when you can perform the pronation of the forearm, you know that okay, you can just start from the basic of the movement, or you can just give the basic command to the movement, or basic, you just need to do everything, okay, on your own, not the patient is doing anything. So at that time patient may be not able to hold that, so you can just use alternate positions or alternate methods, so you can just perform pronation supination easily. Like another thing, the note that they have done told you that you can just perform, as you can see in this position that elbow is flexed, you can also perform this movement in extended position. There is nothing wrong at that point. But the major precaution you need to take care of that, and you do not have to stress the wrist by twisting the hand, okay. You just need to perform the controlled movement of the pronation or supination just by moving the radius, not the wrist itself. You do not have to put pressure on the wrist joint. You just have to perform controlled movement of pronation supination in a very easy and calm way. Okay, you just don't have to put too much of the pressure on the pronation or supination, sorry, on the wrist joint. Okay, you just have to easily perform the pronation and supination. So this is all for today. If you have any query, you can ask, and in the next lecture we are going to discuss the basic wrist movements: palmate flexion, as you know, the flexion of the wrist, and the dorsiflexion, as you know, the extension of the wrist, radial and ulnar deviation. Okay, this is all for today. Bye bye.